find kills early. Neither of these teams even had to think about the bans they wanted. Immediately, Earth Spirit and Tusk gone.
10 seconds remaining.
So two tough 4-position ganking-oriented supports are out of the pool now. Although Vengeful Spirit still unbanned, Invoker still unbanned. Two other heroes that are very, very strong right now and very, very popular. So I would not be surprised to see both of them banned, or at least one of them banned. And there goes Doom, who's just really annoying, and Shadow Fiend also taken out of the pool. Another strong and safe pick, and Invoker very quickly picked up by Finest. Heavy Branches still have Gyrocopter available if they want. That's another safe pick. I mean, the reason that hero remains in the meta even after all these nerfs to call down and after so many months is because he's safe, because you can do a lot with the hero. He's versatile and he fits into a lot of lineups, and that's why we still see him. Vengeful Spirit also still in the pool, so those two heroes available. Chen, Enchantress, Beastmaster,
5 seconds remaining.
all still available, so there's a lot of options still for branches, and
Reserve time.
it just kind of depends on what style they really want to play or what they value more at this point. I'm assuming this Invoker will do... Quas Exort has been pretty popular, and all of the games that I've cast of this tournament with Invoker in it have been Quas Exort games, and there's the Chen, and you can end out games fast with a hero like Chen, and I'm very glad to see him picked up here. Hand of God, and just a strong team fighting hero. Not to mention, once he gets level 3, does that the other persuasion? Yes, level 3, he's a pretty fierce ganker with Pentience and 2 points in not Test of Faith, 2 points in persuasion. I actually find it rather interesting that a lot of Chen players have stepped away from getting points in Test of Faith and instead grabbing a few points in Pentience. The spell has been buffed pretty frequently in the most recent patches, and the slow is now formidable. I believe it is a 15% slow at level 1 is not bad. And there's Wind Ranger, so I think she lanes up decently against Invoker, especially if it's like Quas Exort. Cold Snap isn't as effective. Well, that's not true. It's just she's able to wind run away from him or shackle him down and focus him down quickly. They should. I believe they will trade evenly in this lane. Ancient Apparition is probably a counterpick to Chen. Really nullify the effectiveness of his ult, and also I think that AA pick is just fantastic. It means if Chen builds mech and Ags, a huge facet of this hero is just nullified for 7, 8, 9 seconds, I believe is the scaling. Faceless Void and Shaman banned out. Shaman probably would have been something Happy Branches wanted. The way the first two picks kind of lean towards the more push-oriented lineup, but with Invoker and AA, they may have to move away from that because those two heroes deal with Deathball pretty well.
10 seconds remaining.
Ember Spirit out of the pool. That's a good split-pushing hero and decent against Invoker, but I believe... No. Decent against Invoker. Okay against Ancient App. Actually can kill AA pretty quickly. Yeah, but Invoker's Tornado does, I believe, purge off Flame Guard. Gyrocopter banned out now, and Heavy Branch is looking for... Well, they're still looking for their support, another support, and they're gonna want a strong offlane hero, or they're gonna need a really strong other support. And this Nyx could be their offlane, but I think it's more likely to be their support. And I actually like that here too. There's so much uncontrollable AoE from the Invoker and the AA that he's gonna get good stuns off. This is going to be really effective against the Invoker, who's not going to be able to do his full combo anymore thanks to the Spike Carapace, so I think it's a really smart pickup and will force this Invoker to play a little bit more carefully.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Both teams, I think this is going to be a support Nyx, I think. They've already got Wind, unless the Wind is their offlane. And there's Shaker. Another one of those safe picks, and also really good up against a team that might want to split push. That Chen's going to have to be really careful about his creeps. He could easily get his team blown up by a good Echo Slam. both teams so far seem to be really respectful of each other's drafts and definitely taking counterpicking into consideration, but I would say Finest have the more cohesive draft. There's a lot more synergies in their draft. Branches they have 3 good heroes, but there's not a ton of synergy within those heroes. I mean, you've got the Carapace into a you've got the Impale into a Shackle Shot, or easily impale a Shackle Shotted enemy, and so they have good single target burst and pretty good AoE lockdown so far, actually, since Chen will probably have a Satyr at one point or another, or not a Satyr, a Centaur at one point or another, and you've got the Impale, Carapace, Shackle Shot, so good lockdown, but I think they need more damage, and I imagine they'll be picking that up soon. Maybe a support like Lena and Lion don't feel like they'd be very good here. Pretty greedy. And Rubik, actually, very good against Shaker. If you can steal Fissure, which is usually not terribly difficult to steal in the middle of a team fight, that's a very powerful spell. No cast animation, it just goes. And I suppose you could steal, if you're very fast, you can steal some of Invoker's spells. I like Rubik here. It's more lockdown, and they're a very lockdown heavy team right now, but Branches is lacking damage. It's just lacking so much damage, whereas Finest has lockdown and damage. They have a lot of damage. Shaker has good damage, AA Blast, Invoker, but the only real source of damage from Branches is the Wind Ranger. Otherwise, it's all burst damage, and it's not... We'll have to see, I suppose, but I think Branches desperately need to find a really high damage carry, and Finest picking up Mirana, and they've got some pretty good setup for that, actually. If there's a good Fissure block, the arrow can land, and then it's an easy kill from... or an easy stun from Cold Feet, which probably means they're going to die. And it's set up for Sunstrike, so I feel like this more or less confirms Quas Exort, maybe Wexort, and I think the Spectre Band was pretty good. But the Mirana also allows them to play a little bit more aggressively. Her ultimate is basically Smoke of Deceit. I mean, it's spotted out by wards, but her ultimate is just absolutely fantastic in the early game, and proper utilization of that of Moonlight Shadow could have a really huge impact on how this game turns out. So Branch is definitely looking for a high damage core, and I actually think this might be an offlane Shaker and maybe a roaming support Mirana. I think they might want to get levels on their Shaker, get him a fast herb link. I mean, the hero farms pretty slowly, but if you can secure him some good farm and some good levels early, it becomes a lot easier. I think Slark is actually a really good ban. It's a good damage hero, and they also they have lots of AoE, and they have lots of AoE lockdown, but they don't have like a Bane to really take care of this Slark. There's no hero on Finest that says, alright, cool, you have Slark, I'll deal with him. Like, you take him out of the fight for a few seconds, and that's a good source of damage. But I'm just worried that if Finest carry scales better than the Jugs, that Branches might have a really hard time. Because Juggernaut is a really good carry. He's a really strong carry too. But he scales, but he doesn't scale that... He doesn't outscale, like, obvious heroes like Anti-Mage, or probably even PL does pretty well against the Jugs. So, but I do like the pick. I think they want to go early. They've got 5 heroes that are pretty good at getting 1 or 2 items and just going. I think from the 16-17 minute mark, Branches are going to be like, alright, we got our mech, we got our SNY, we got our Blink, we got our Ags, we got whatever it is they're after, and just run down the lanes as quickly as they can. However, that might be really hard to do against Finest's draft. They have Shaker to slow push, AA Blast, Invoker, even Mirana is kind of annoying to push up against, but just, I guess, look out for the arrows. But really, the Invoker, AA, and Shaker are really good up against that kind of strategy. So, very curious to see how this game turns out. And actually, so it's a carry Mirana. Bat's their off lane. Mirana's their safe. And will they do an aggro try with the Mirana so they can get kills with this? Because that's a pretty good aggressive lane. The Bat Rider, let me see. I'm wondering if they should do an aggro try. Go up against the enemy safe, put the Bat Rider solo in their safe lane to ensure that he gets levels, because he might have a hard time laning up against the Invoker, or the Nyx, or the Rubik, or the Jugs. The Jugs can just spin away from Firefly. But I still really like that pick. I am so happy to see it. That hero is very, very strong right now. And I would love to... I think his primary lasso target probably be the Wind Ranger. Maybe the Jugs if he can get him. But I think the Wind Ranger has a better way to deal with someone on their team getting lassoed. She can shackle the bat as he lassos in and slow down his jump. So if I were to favor a draft, I slightly favor Finest. I think Branches, actually, if they execute their draft properly and they get what they want out of their lanes, which is Juggernaut to get it fast, I would go S and Y. But they could go Battle Fury because they do outscale. I believe they outscale Mirana. Probably can't beat Jugs later in the game. So I think I slightly favor Branches. They have to, if they get what they want in their lanes, if they play properly, then I think their draft is the slightly stronger draft. But alright, here we go. Both teams buying a smoke, and we're going to see if that turns into a level 1 fight. And if it did, that's a cool courier. I would put my money on Finest. Fissure plus whatever spell Invoker gets. I guess, actually, let's see, what do we got? We've got Lift, Spin, possibly Shackle if she wants it, and Impale. So actually Branches have the better level 1 fight. If the Bat Rider were there, then maybe, and I like this a lot. That's very smart. This way the enemy supports won't be able to pull without him knowing. He will know everything that's going on this section of the map for the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and now he's going to block this camp, and I don't think there are any sentry wards, but there may be. Let's see. Nope, there are not sentry wards, and actually, that's not true. Chen does have sentries. They've got Cold Snap, and if they get Chilling Touch, it could be pretty high damage. She started with Arrow, and shooting one out to scout with. Looks like they're going to disperse, but Rubik gets hit, and this might stop Branches from fighting, but no, all 5 are here. Fissure to try to block them out, and I don't think either team is going to get this. So Branches secure the bot rune for the Wind Ranger, so Invoker's going to have a pretty tough time mid, I think, now that she's going to be slightly ahead of him. Plus her damage is higher since she started, so she's got the Null Tally and 3 branches. He's got the Null Tally and Fairy Fire, okay. But Bat Rider did get the rune, and that could be even more meaningful than, say, like the Invoker getting the rune. And AA's up here now, and I actually wonder how long he's going to stay. Putting down the sentry, try to scout out a ward so that she doesn't have high ground vision on their Invoker. And Chen finding himself a Hellbear, nice attack speed aura. I think Bat Rider shouldn't die here, but he doesn't have very much kill potential here either. Then again, I say that, but he's taking a lot of damage. He's running off to the side and harassing back this Rubik. So unfortunately, he does not have regen, and I think that may have been a bit of a mistake. And Nyx Assassin, the solo offlaner for Happy Branches, making it away just in time. I think if he had been hit by the Cold Feet, he might have been in trouble. Chen has just arrived, but Rubik doing a great job zoning out this bat, who's getting absolutely nothing, but he's got to be careful, taking up a lot of damage from that tower. Rubik will be very likely forced to use some of his regeneration. I think they need to pull down here. Yes, this is Quas X-Sword Invoker, so nothing surprising, and I think definitely the better choice this game. Chen's still at level 1. And Invoker about half a level behind the Wind Ranger, which she did get the bounty rune, so not terribly surprising. Wrong button. There we go. Juggernaut and Mirana both getting pretty good CS for right now. However, Juggernaut is going to get more out of this. The Nyx is getting more out of his lane than the Bat is out of his. So it's the kind of trade-off With Jug's gonna have slightly better farm because his lane is back at him, I think, and there's that. Nyx have his Sentry Ward. There's Sentry Wards in the AA too. Shaker now invis, and I wonder where he's gonna go with this. He could go mid, but she does have a point in Windrun now, so it'd be very hard to kill her, and Nyx has a point in Carapace, so it could be hard to kill him, and Rubik coming around. That might be in trouble. Slow down. Pentian's taking so much damage from the spin, and that's the first blood. Juggernaut, that was a really good rotation, and this Rubik is playing very well already. Just zoning this guy out, and now Nyx might be in trouble. Blocked by the fissure, and is it too late? Stunned, and he goes down as well. Really well played from both teams. Both teams' safe lanes are going just about as good as I think they could want them to. Batrider still only level 2, but Nyx Assassin is level 4, so although they did just kill the Nyx, he's getting very, very good levels, and looks like people are asking for a pause, so I think 4 branches are getting more out of their lanes. That just based off the off lane, and that is such a huge indicator to me. Nyx Assassin, I mean, although, so the Nyx when he hits 6 can just abandon his lane, I think, and just roam to mid, roam to top, and try to kill off Bat, try to kill off Invoker, that kind of thing. And even though the Bat isn't getting as much in lane, if his supports stack up this jungle, which I don't think has been done yet, he can come back into the game very, very quickly. The hero is famous for farming the jungle extremely fast, and I could see him coming back and still getting a very timely Blink Dagger if there are stacks for him, even though he's sitting at a tragic 1 CS right now, although Nyx isn't faring much better. And I think Genius is playing pretty well, and oh, I apologize, I forgot to introduce the teams, so while we're paused, I see Spawn on 4 branches playing the Jugs, Genius on Rubik, that's Chen, Wrath, Caparos, that's his sponsor, on the Wind Ranger, and Load playing the Nyx Assassin, and on Finest, Bidman playing Marana, Reborn on Ancient Apparition, Tans playing Earthshaker, KJ on the Invoker, and Wrong on the Batrider. So this game is shaping up to be pretty interesting so far. I mean, these graphs don't really mean anything at this stage of the game. Branches have an XP advantage because their Nyx is level 4, although the Chen is still only level 2, and AA is still only level 2 as well. I actually think these supports need to find a way to get more XP and get this Marana more levels too. Perhaps just stack make some jungle stacks, rotate a bit. Then it is hard to rotate up against this Wind Ranger though, because of her Wind Run. She could, if she gets fissured and not like EMP'd right after, and there's no points in EMP right now, it could be really hard to pin her down because she'll just run away. And Rubik's holding on to a TP, has enough mana to TP and lift, and I can't see the map. Oh god! Can I draw on the map too? There we go. So Nyx TPing back to his lane. I think despite dying, this Nyx might feel pretty good about where he's at. Shaker just shy of his fissure. Because this lane is just so pushed in, he's gonna hit level 6 soon. He doesn't even have to worry about going for last hits. He can just hang out, get these levels that he's getting. They are denying him pretty heavily, but it's still more experience than this Batrider's getting, who it looks like might be trying to farm this camp here. Yes, it looks like Bat wants this, and will be going to farm that, and I think that's definitely the right play. Invoker and Wind Ranger very even, although Wind Ranger is slightly ahead in levels. There's Rubik waiting by this rune. Securing the rune for his mid, while his bot rune is haste. Shaker's going to find it, and I wonder if he's going to take it or try to give it to his Invoker. Looks like Shaker's going to grab this rune and maybe just sit on. He's sitting on it for a while, but I imagine he'll be the one to take it in the end. Nyx Assassin very close to level 5, and once he hits 6, that could be something to. That could be. We could definitely see a rotation out of him, and This is definitely the right play from Bat, going around farming. He has his Tranquil Boots now. He's level 3, almost level 4, so definitely the right play. And that off-lane camp just being wonderful, and it is a really huge addition. Chen sitting in mid, and his Satyr's pushing forward with that Tornado. Definitely trying to zone out, but looks like Invoker's going to get this, and that actually gave Invoker level 6, and may very well have caught Invoker up experience-wise. That was maybe a pretty big misplay. That could have some pretty dire implications, although this Tornado doing lots of work against this Invoker. Looks like Rubik found Bat, but this might not be the hero he wanted to find. Just slowly stacking Sticky Napalm. He's not going to live much longer here. Let's see if Bat gets one more stack, but he misses that stack, and Invoker, ooh, nice fissure to get the kill, and well played. And Rubik, I'm not sure what he was doing there. Maybe he wanted to rotate up here around on the Invoker, hang out here, then go around, but maybe place a ward. He did not have a ward on him, so I don't know. I wasn't much paying attention to the Invoker, to the Rubik. And Nyx, AA is moving on him. AA is level 4 now. Chen also level 4, so the supports of these heroes very close. Omni Slash not quite enough. Will he still get Bat in the end? He does have phase boots, but they're on cooldown for just a few seconds longer, and Bat's able to walk away from an Omni Slash. Oops, I apologize. I messed that up. Shaker getting yet another Invis rune. He's getting pretty lucky on these runes. That haste rune, definitely, ooh, very close arrow. If that had hit, I think we would have seen Nyx go down. Bat should be careful. Spin is available, but not quite enough mana. And then there's the Bat goes down. A good fissure block could cost the Juggernaut his life. Really good rotations so far. And there's the Sunstrike, and absolutely amazing rotations from Finest, just making sure that their Bat didn't die in vain. And in fact, I think that was probably more worth it for them, considering the Invoker got the kill, and they just lost their Bat Rider, who isn't too worried about being able to come back into the game. So very good kill for them. And Juggernaut is going the SNY build. This is the more battling build, but he does also have a Soul Ring, which I find a little interesting. I don't really think the hero needs it. I think he can go Aki Ring and have enough mana-wise. Looks like Nyx is ready to rotate. He's waiting here on the wings. Unfortunately, this wave is pushed, so he might not find anything. Although, maybe he goes and finds a Bat Rider. Vendetta's timing out fairly soon. Oh, this is big. If Nyx can take this, this puts Bat really far behind. He needs this farm. But there's just so many stacks, it might be hard for Nyx to kind of counter it. Oh, but looks like, okay, so Nyx might be in trouble now. A little bit of over-aggression and over-commitment with no backup, but his team is right there, but will they be able to reach him in time? And another fantastic Sunstrike, just bringing down that Nyx Assassin. Good net to stop the Shaker. Fissure cooling down soon, though. A good stomp to slow them down even further. Will they be able to get something out of this? A good Fissure block, but actually maybe saves the Chen, and Mirana shooting down that Wild Wing. Juggernaut has Omni Slash available, but they need to be careful. Pretty much, is this all 5? All 5 heroes from Finest are up here now, farming up these Chen creeps, and Chen better back off because it looks like they want him, and suddenly everyone is up here. This is 5 heroes from both teams. The Invoker is hit by Pentience. Good Impale, and really good play from this Nyx Assassin, and that's Mirana down, AA down, but they do lose the Juggernaut, which is pretty bad. And in fact, on the back end of that, Mirana dies, AA dies, and Bat die. But Juggernaut and Rubik going down, they might be able to get this Invoker. Ooh, be careful, the stun. Good Carapace, and it looks like they're going to be able to get this Invoker. And if the Shaker's not careful, they're going to get him too. Wind Ranger on the chase, and not nearly enough mana on this Shaker. Oh, unfortunately unable to juke, but he did cancel that, and now rotations come in. Wind Ranger getting a double kill. This game filled with lots of kills, and Juggernaut and Mirana both very well farmed. Hand of God not coming out before before the Ice Blast and the good Shackle to stop the chase. This looks like this Chen creep is going to go down, though, and this Bat getting lots of farm just from this Chen, and Mirana actually doing a lot of work up against the Chen because her arrow can one-shot his creeps, which does mean a fair bit in this matchup, and I'm wondering if they took that into consideration before picking the Mirana. Juggernaut very close to his Yasha now. This will increase his farm speed a fair bit, and also his ability to fight. 2 smoke spot, and they'll probably be out of stock for a little while. Yes, out of stock for another 30 seconds on the side of the Radiant. Juggernaut does not have Omni Slash, and now Nyx spotted out. Moonlight Shadow active. They might look for this. Nyx is in trouble. AA Blast coming out. Arrow connects. Cold Snap, and that's a very dead Nyx Assassin. Unless it's not, he might be able to make it away, but here comes the Sunstrike, and then the Fissure for the last hit. Good coordinated play so far coming out from both teams, and Finest trying to push the advantage forwards. Chen smoked up in the back. Omni Slash cooling down in 3 seconds, but does Chen want to sacrifice his creeps here? Another play, yeah, then Mirana using this arrow very effectively to clean out these Chen creeps. So she did kill the Centaur, but it did get its stomp out, I believe. And interesting. I think this is actually way more valuable for Finest, because unless they lose some heroes, but forcing a lot of rotations, and Nyx going down again, and Chen too. Great AA Blast securing those 2 kills, and arrow coming out, hitting the Juggernaut, and it looks like they want him. Great Sunstrike follow-up. These guys are perfectly in sync, and clearly, to me, they seem like a very experienced team who are very used to playing with each other. And all the while, Batrider claims top tower, and this tower not long behind it, and Invoker getting the last hit. That should be his Yules. So Invoker finishing his Yule Scepter, and Rubik still only level 4. Bat jumping ahead to level 7, and let's see if... Where is net worth? I apologize. I am... So far, all the cores fairly close. Give me just 1 second. I apologize for that little delay. I got caught up in the middle of something, but fortunately, there wasn't really anything going on right now. I actually think Mirana building drums is smart. I think both of these teams are actually trying to close out the game fairly quickly. Bat has Blink done, so that's exactly what I was talking about. He died a few times in lane, but easily got his Blink at 12 minutes. Shaker also closing in on that Blink Dagger. But I think the drums allows Mirana to fight more in the early game, and it also benefits this Invoker, who I think is going to be the real carry of this team. Nyx popping Carapace preemptively. And immediately blown up by that combo. Great play. This Invoker is on it and showing us why Invoker has been first pick, first ban in a lot of these games. Invoker actually boasts a 93% pick ban rate in the 82L. Wind Ranger knows something's up, and a good pull, and just holding her there for the AA Blast, and not much time now. She's going to slowly burn down, and then she's going to pop to the AA. Unfortunately, Hand of God does not help up against the AA Blast, and this Ancient Apparition is just doing so much work, negating the Chen. Her and Mirana just kill his creeps. The Batrider, the Mirana, and the AA are just shutting this Chen down. He's almost been completely irrelevant this game. His one good gank on the Batrider, and Hand of God just not being beneficial, and his creep armies just die to the Batrider, to the Mirana. Batrider needs to be careful. He could be in trouble, and there's the quick pick. Good play by Nyx Assassin. Batrider getting a little ahead of himself. Getting greedy, trying to farm that up, but while this is going on, Mirana pushing the bot lane, and Jugs pushing top, but he might pay for it. He does have spin. Does not use it yet. So he should be fine. So both cores on the teams just split pushing, farming, Wind Ranger closing in on her Aghanim Scepter, and Rubik getting burnt down, and the Echo Slam might have been a little bit of an overcommittal, but still a good kill, and this brings Shaker ever closer to his blink, and once he gets that, I think 4 branches are going to have to be really careful, and this Chen is going to have to play very carefully around with his army, or else he could kill not only himself, but his entire team could go down. It's like Rubik has arrived, and just throwing out a Fade Bolt for some harass, trying to zone them out. Wind Ranger, just splitting up the map, trying to farm. I think this is the right play. She can split push very quickly, and probably doesn't really want to fight until she gets her Aghanim Scepter. Finest have 4 heroes in mid. Maybe they look for something else and try to find another kill behind the tower like they did earlier. There's another Fade Bolt to try to slow the push. Check out item progression. Blink Dagger just finished on Shaker. Bat's had is for a little while now. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Midas or even just like a quick branch, but he's going to be pretty poor. Invoker sitting on top of 2k gold, so interested to see what he goes next. And Mirana also at about 2k. Rubik has an Urn. Juggernaut, Yasha, and something's on the courier to him. Juggernaut just finishing up SNY. And I hear the Yules, and it looks like this Rubik is very dead, very fast. KJ putting in work this game. And this tower will be gone before long. Invoker has a Blink Dagger now, so 3 blinks ready on the side of Finest, so in a moment's notice, 4 branches could be in the middle of a fight that they weren't ready for. This Invoker is 8-1-3. Very good play. He's sitting at the top of the net worth chart. Mirana right behind him. She's farming up, and I could see her going a Yasha Manta of her own. Not SNY, but I could see Manta style. Possibly Diffusal, possibly Deso. I mean, there's some options she's got available to her. And Nyx scouting out the enemy team. Rubik lifting up the Shaker. The Shackle does not latch, and an AA Blast on 3. 3 heroes die. So 2 heroes, maybe not 3. Maybe Chen gets away with this. That was a very good play. 2 heroes immediately die on the side of 4 branches, and there was just nothing they could do about it. They found the Nyx, and he's all alone. No hope for him either. And another late Hand of God. This Chen just not playing optimally, and part of that is he's been countered, and quite possibly because of how hard he's been countered, he's on full tilt, and there's lasso ready, and Chen's drug away from all that's stuck there, and now he dies to 3 heroes, 4 heroes, because I believe Rubik died over here, dead in just a matter of minutes, and Finest building an advantage very rapidly and looking to close out this game quickly. Wind Ranger's still not quite at her Aghanim Scepter. She does dodge the arrow. Rubik stealing an arrow of his own, so this could be a useful spell to have. Just throwing out a Fissure to harass. Nyx could be going for a Blink of his own. I imagine it's going to be Blink. Juggernaut off to the side farming, and this is what he needs to do. If he fights right now, he'll die. So I think this is kind of what he needs to do. Good game sense TPing out. His team did realize, you know, hey, they're all missing now. And so he backed out, and smart, safe play from him too. Farm up that last creep wave and just get out. Batrider now has a Force Staff, so he's going to be pulling enemy heroes very far. It's nowhere on the map is really safe for branches right now. There's just so much to think about. Like when you're branches and you're like, okay, I want to go farm my jungle, you have to think, okay, where's Batrider? Alright, I see Batrider, I'm okay. Where's Invoker? Okay, I see Invoker, I'm okay. Has Mirana ulted yet? Is the lasso down? Has AA Blast gone out yet? Where's the Shaker standing? Where are my teammates? Do we have vision in this area? Do they have vision in this area? It's very dangerous for them to go anywhere. I think this this part of the map is actually pretty safe. Here is pretty safe. But this part is not. It's very dangerous, and they can't go past the river. Whereas Finest can just walk past the river whenever they like and push, fight, do whatever they please. Wind Ranger just 200 gold away from her Aghanim Scepter. I imagine we will... It's unfortunate. This ward, I wonder if this was intentional, does not see past here. Marana arrow flies, or that was Rubik's arrow flying, hitting AA. Nyx Assassin still no item pickup yet. He's sitting on top of 2.3k gold, and very curious to see what he's gonna go for next. Smoke of Deceit. It looks like they want to go in and fight mid. But the lasso, it's too bad. Sunstrike does 3 damage going through. Echo Slam, but Jug's still spinning. Good arrow, and this might be the fight that Branches were really looking for. Unfortunately, they don't have the vision, but now Moonlight Shadow wearing off. This could be bad for Finest. And over here, Shaker's on the run, but Batrider may be going down, and in fact, I think he is. And Shaker's got to be careful. He might run right into this Juggernaut, but Marana over here takes down the Chen, and Invoker's going to be doing a lot of damage too. Sniping a Chen creep, and this trade very positive for Finest for now, but they lose the Rubik, who stole Echo Slam. Very impressive, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to amount to anything. Marana arrow cooling down soon. We can probably imagine when these Chen creeps going to die soon. And she actually hits the one with a lot of health, so good shot from her. And impressive spell steal from the Rubik, but it just wasn't quite enough. And I think a big part of the problem in that fight had to be their lack of detection for invisible units. That Omni Slash could have easily killed 3 if only they had vision. Very unfortunate, and Chen actually had a pretty decent hand of God there, but I feel like he just hasn't... This Chen hasn't paid off enough. He doesn't have mech yet. And even when he does get mech, you still have to worry about the AA blast just ruining your mech. And then AA sitting here, looks like he just wants to get a good blast and maybe fight soon. Batrider also looking to fight soon. He sees Rubik, I think. This is what the Dire, this is what Finest see right now. And they spot out the Batrider. It just feels like... Looks like AA is probably going to go down to the Juggernaut. Good stun from the Chen. Quick kill on AA, but that was him. That was just AA being very far out of position. And Nyx got his Blink Dagger, so that's a good item. I wonder... However... Marana did get hers, and now a fight breaks out here. Instantly dead. Rubik, a lasso onto the Wind Ranger, and I don't think she's long for this world. But then again, here's the Omni Slash, and Juggernaut has his Blink Dagger too. Will he be able to get this Marana? She jukes him just barely. Well played. Oh, but maybe not. Juggernaut does find her in the end and picks her off, but and it looks like Earthshaker also goes down, and at the cost of Chen. Invoker's gonna have to be careful. I don't think he has Cold Snap. Shackle's ready, but he does have his Blink, but he turns around for just a second, and that might be the... Let's see if Nyx can get this Blink stun, then. But it doesn't look like they want to go up high ground, and the Invoker's stopping the but really good Shackle and really good Carapace from Nyx, and Invoker loses his life too, and this Juggernaut is suddenly online and hitting really hard. That's sitting at the top of the net worth all of a sudden, and his next item will be online here soon, and it could be pretty much whatever he wants. Basher wouldn't be bad, and yeah, it's a Basher. This Juggernaut has been playing a very good game, making sure he doesn't get picked off, and that he finds all the farm he needs and finds the kills that his team desperately needs. A blast goes flying and misses the Juggernaut, but it wasn't going to be enough to kill him anyway. Is that going to be... And Nyx might get a kill. Good good Hand of God, but not enough. It looks like AA might go down too. Wind Ranger's ult hit him, and he's in a bad spot if they spot him out. The power shot goes the wrong way, and AA might actually be able to walk away from this alive. And Nyx does lose his life, and no Hand of God for another 2 minutes. And I feel like they need to be much more efficient with their use of this spell. It's one of the most important spells in team fights, because they don't have a lot. Branches don't have a lot of spells that when they go off, it's like, oh wow, that was huge, that was big. They don't have a lot of team fighting spells, whereas Finest have everything Invoker does. They have Echo Slam, they have Ice Blast, they have Lasso. Even Flame Break is a very good team fighting spell, and so they need to be very efficient with the usage of their one really good team fighting spell, and that's Hand of God. And Omni Slash is pretty useful as well, so.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But the Chen auras, it looks like this tower should go down. They can fort, and I see no reason not to. Wind Ranger just finishes a blink, and Nyx goes down, and it looks like they might actually be able to get away with that. But, oh, Shaker blinked and got himself killed by neutral, but it did cost Invoker his life. Although the Shaker did deny himself to neutrals, whether on purpose or not, it does not. It still costs that their Invoker, and that's a good bit of gold for this Juggernaut, who I do think outscales the Mirana. I think if it goes really, really late, the Wind Ranger and the Wind Ranger and the Jugs will have the damage to really beat through this Finest lineup without their combo. It's there's a lot on the shoulders of this Invoker, I think. There's the AA Blast, and it misses everyone, but Bat's not able to get away because the Jugs blinks as well. Forced to lasso defensively, and with the slow, and Rubik now has lasso, but a very difficult spell for a Rubik to use. They know where Mirana is. They really want her. They don't have vision, though. They catch her out, and she leaps away. Good fissure to defend their Mirana, and she fires an arrow, connecting on the Chen, and he could easily die here if they're not careful. And there's the follow-up, and Chen's immediately gone. And his team has to retreat now. They have no Hand of God, and they really just want to get out of here. That was interesting. It's an interesting looking stun right there. This gold graph very close. A 2.5k gold graph is pretty negligible. Fortunately, nothing to latch the shackle onto, so Wind Ranger's gonna have to back off, but thanks to Ags, her ult cooldown basically doesn't have a cooldown, so XP and gold very even. This is a very close game, and I really want to say this Juggernaut brought his team back into it. Good play from him, and some good spell steals from the Rubik. Just good job from Branches not breaking under the pressure. A lot of teams will lose the early game and really start to break and fold under the pressure, but not Branches. They are sturdy and strong like an iron branch. That is what they are. They're iron branches. So there's but Rubik. Here's an Omni Slash in retaliation. Shaker loses his life, and Bat might lose his too, but it doesn't look like he's able to get away in the end. Jugs with a DD rune. I'm surprised neither of these teams has looked towards Roche yet, but neither of them particularly fast Roshing lineups. So it's not super surprising that they haven't Roached yet, I guess. They spot out the AA Blast, and Rubik manages to juke it. AA actually going for a mechanism. He is getting fair levels, but I think a Midas would have been a fine pickup too. And Mirana went with Lincoln's afterwards, so a very defensive build and trying to stop the shackles and the lifts, it seems, as the four branches really only have have a lot of single target spells, but Nyx Assassin could break her Lincolns with his mana burn very easily and not really lose that much. Unfortunately, they have no way to stop this Mirana TP, and she's out of there. Dragon and Scepter now on Invoker. He's going to be slinging out spells left and right. Batrider has a Glimmer Cape now. He'll be pretty hard to just blow up now, I think. Mirana is actually going to go for Mana Style, I think, which is, I think that's probably the right choice. Rubik closing in on a Force Staff. I think Chen has a smoke, but they may not want to use it yet. And AA now has his mechanism, so his team has healing available. And are they grouping up to smoke here? This Invoker is going to be all over the map. Looks like branches are kind of grouping up. Chen's got some pretty good creeps. They've got the armor aura, the attack damage aura, and Juggernaut can't tell if he's really going what he's going for yet. It could be a Scotty, it could be a Manta. I feel like it'd be a Scotty. Invoker just scouting out Roche, but it might be at the wrong time, and branches might be going for it, and I don't know if... But actually they're going across the river trying to find their kills. Nyx Assassin leading the way. If they can catch these 4 heroes out without the Mirana, it could be a disaster. The smoke immediately pops. They know they must be there, and very good Moonlight Shadow to defend their team. A good Yules to cancel this Omni Slash damage, but there's no detection on the side of branches. They have the dust. They need to use it. And now Mirana on the back, taking out the Rubik, and Juggernaut still trying to chase down the Invoker, but not going to be able to find anything. And now Chen's life is going to end too. Wind Ranger and Juggernaut and Nyx all able to escape, or maybe not. Let's see. They're really on the prowl here. Really unfortunate. 4 branches had such a good angle at the start of that fight, but just not able to maximize that good jump they would have had. Excuse me. I apologize. Nyx Assassin gets arrowed, and team just barely gets away, it looks like. He shouldn't die to the AA blast. There's no Ags or anything, so. Chen buys another smoke, and it looks like they really want to mobilize and try to play aggressively, and I really appreciate that they're trying to continue to be aggressive. Oh, I apologize. Something just happened. Okay. It's like some drawing coming out here. AA really wants to go for that tower there, and unfortunately Rubik, thanks to that mechanism and the Hand of God, Rubik will survive. But the AA blast is coming in. They'll see it go across their towers, so but it doesn't go the right way. Moonlight Shadow popped. They might find this Juggernaut. He needs to be very careful. But instead, they find the 2 mid. Nyx Assassin and Chen hit by a pretty good Echo Slam, but Spike Carapace slowing them down. And good Blink Tornado from the Invoker, but do they have vision? And great arrow from the Mirana actually manages to hit the Nyx Assassin. Batrider burning down the Chen. There's a good ice wall. Now Rubik in danger. Rubik actually using the stolen lasso, but Mirana showing up just in the nick of time to make sure that they find all of the kills they were looking for. Really good start, really good initiation from the fight, and an Echo Slam from Tans. And there is buyback on Nyx and on Wind Ranger. Goldgraph swinging ever higher in favor of Finest. It's like all those buybacks were forced, but they really want this, and unfortunately the arrow just missed time. Good shackle, but the fissure to stun, and Nyx is going to go down. No buyback on Nyx or Wind Ranger. that actually a good game? Or see, because that could very well be GG. Juggernaut goes down 2. He has buyback available, but they do call GG. So really well played, excellent, extremely coordinated plays from Finest, and 4 Branches putting up a really good fight, and I just mad respect to Finest. And KJ played an amazing Invoker game. He was in complete control of this game, and Tans played that Shaker very, very well, and Bidman had a very high impact on this Mirana. But I'm looking forward to next game. 4 Branches definitely didn't give it to them easy, so hopefully we'll see another really good game coming up here soon.